वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 14, text number 39-40. Bhavishyataha tava abhadro bhavishyatastava bhadro abhadre jatara adamo abhadre jatara adamo lokan sapalan trin Chandi lokan sapalam stream shandi muhuhu akrandya ishyataha muhurakrandya ishyataha bhavishyatastava bhadrau abhadre jatara vadamo लोकान सपालाम स्त्रीम शंडी मुहुर आक्रंदयिष्यन्तः भविष्यतस्तवा भद्रौ अभद्रे जटारदमो लोकान सपालाम स्त्रीम शंडी मुहुर आक्रंदयिष्यतः Bhavishyataha will take birth, Tava, your, Abhadro, to three, Chandi, haughty one, Muhuhu, constantly, Akrandayishyataha, will cause lamentation. Translation and purport by Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. O haughty one, you will have two contemptuous sons, born of your condemned womb. Unlucky woman, they will cause constant lamentation to all the three worlds. Please repeat the translation. O haughty one, you will have two contemptuous sons, born of your condemned womb. O unlucky woman, they will cause constant lamentation to all the three worlds. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Contemptuous sons are born of the condemned womb of their mother. In Bhagavad Gita it is said, when there is a deliberate negligence of the regulative principles of religious life, the women as a class become polluted, and as a result there are unwanted children. This is especially true for boys if the mother is not good. There cannot be good sons. The learned Kashyapa could foresee the character of the sons who would be born of the condemned womb of Diti. The womb was condemned because of the mother's being too sexually inclined and thus transgressing all the laws and injunctions of the scriptures. In a society where such a women are predominant, one should not expect good children. Next verse I'll recite myself. Praninam hanyamananam deenanam akrutagasam strinam nigrahyamananam kopiteshu mahatmashu. They will kill poor, faultless living entities, torture women, and enrage great souls. Demoniac activities are predominant when innocent, faultless living entities are killed. Women are tortured and the great souls engaged in Krishna consciousness are enraged. In a demoniac society, innocent animals are killed to satisfy the tongue and women are tortured by unnecessary sexual indulgence. Where there are women and meat, there must be liquor and sex indulgence. When these are prominent in society, by God's grace, one can expect a change in the social order by the Lord Himself or by His bona fide representative. Presents the Bhakti Vedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimiraandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namaha Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaurabhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here we understand Kashyapa predicting the future of his sons, explaining the nature of the sons who will take birth and what disturbance they will create to society. Bhavishyata stava abhadrau, bhavishyataha, very soon they will take birth. Tava abhadrau, from your condemned womb. Abhadre jatar adamo, they will be contemptuous sons. They are not auspicious, they are inauspicious because they have taken birth from your contaminated womb. Lokans apalam strin chendi, oh haughty one. Chendi means one who does not listen to the instruction, little stubborn lady. Because when Kashyapa tried to instruct her, she did not adhere to the instructions. That's why he is saying, oh haughty one. So, Lokans apalam strin, all the leaders who are governing all the three planetary systems, Muhuhu akranta ishyataha, these sons will be the cause of constant lamentation. They'll all be put into trouble. They'll all be crying because of your two sons. So, in the purport, Prabhupada says, the learned Kashyapa could foresee the character of the sons who would be born of the condemned womb of Diti. So, he could understand what kind of sons come. So, this proves, in some other place also Prabhupada explains, the consciousness of the parents at the time of sexual intercourse is very important because that kind of consciousness will attract the soul of that consciousness. Like frequency matching will happen. So what is the frequency here? A similar frequency will be attracted here. So the womb was condemned because of mothers being too sexually inclined and thus transgressing all the laws and injunctions of the scriptures. So there is a limitation where, when, what to do. But Diti did not follow the time, rules and regulations of the scriptures. So that's why it became a condemned womb. And next verse it says, these people will create trouble in three ways. What is that? What is that lamentation? How these people torture the whole world? They do in three ways. Praninam hanyamananam, they kill living entities unnecessarily. Poor, innocent creatures they kill. Dinanam akrita agasam, dinanam means which are poor, which are who have taken shelter. Akrita agasam, which are faultless, innocent, they kill innocent, poor living entities. Then Strinam nigrihya mananam, the women will be tortured. Then kopiteshu mahatmashu, they will enrage the great souls. So these are the three activities by which these demoniac people, they disturb the society. So in the purport, Prabhupada says, in a demoniac society, innocent animals are killed to satisfy the tongue and women are tortured by unnecessary sexual indulgence. So when these are prominent in society, by God's grace, one can expect a change in social order by the Lord Himself or by His bona fide representative. So this indicates the dharmasya glani situation. See, Lord had created this universe with an intention, with a formula, with a prototype, how it has to run. Now when it is not running as per the instruction of the Lord, as per the guidance of the Lord, as per the plan of the Lord, Lord had to appear, or Lord will instruct some of His devotees, Lord will encourage some of His devotees to bring back the situation. Dharma punah pratisthapana, Lord does. Pratisthapanaarthaya. Dharma samsthapanarthaya. Either He will do or His empowered devotees will do. So, what is this demoniac mentality? How to understand these demoniac activities? So almost like one dedicated chapter is there in Bhagavad Gita, 16th chapter, divine and demoniac. Divine is only 3 verses which is explained there, but demoniac is explained in 20 verses. So in that perspective, Prabhupada here and there some points based on demoniac perspectives. There is difference between demoniac mentality and devotional mentality. To desire to enjoy this material world as a subordinate of the Supreme Lord is godly. The demons want to enjoy the material world without considering the Supreme Lord. So what is the difference between demons and devotees? Devotees want to enjoy the material world, but as a subservient of the Lord. But the demons, they want to enjoy this material world, neglecting the Lord. They don't bother for the Lord. They don't acknowledge the Lord. The demons are considered highly elevated in knowledge, but because they do not use their good intelligence for the service of the Lord, they are called as demons. Ravana, he is the greatest scholar of his time. He is very good at chanting mantras, it seems. So when demigods, when they used to perform sacrifices, Ravana was taken as the priest to chant the mantras. So he was so qualified. But do we treat him like a Brahmana? Ravana, Brahma, but we say him is a demon. You may have all qualifications, but your mentality is demoniac mentality. Demons always think that Vishnu can be killed. See, what is their expectation? Vishnu is one among us. We can kill Vishnu. So this is their mentality. The demons certainly cannot have any faith in the words of the authorities. In fact, they are always disrespectful to authorities. That's why here also it is said, Kopiteshu Mahatmanu. So they enrage the great souls. How when great souls become enraged? When their instructions are not followed, or when they are disrespected. So in that time, the great souls becomes enraged. So in one context wise, in that 16th chapter perspective, some devotees were asking some questions while Prabhupada was explaining about these demons' qualities in some conversation that is between Prabhupada and some disciples. There are so many religious systems. Yes, you can do whatever you like, you can eat whatever you like. Still it is considered religion. Some false religious perspectives. How people have imagined what is religion. Do whatever you want. It is something like get whatever bus, you will go to bus stand. Any bus you catch, will it go to bus stand? So this is the same principle. Anything you worship, anything you do, you will achieve the ultimate goal. That is a foolish understanding. So this is demoniac. This will be explained further. Pravrittincha nivrittimcha janana vidurasura. So what has to be done, what should not be done, people are unaware of this perspective. Asura, because they are demoniac perspective, they do not know what is to be done, what not to be done. Because they do not take any standard idea, they manufacture their own concoctions. They imagine about activities. Disciple. Prabhupada, in the Catholic Church, the early fathers upheld the principle of no flesh eating. That's part of the historical record. In time, the leaders became lax and changed the restriction to no flesh eating on Fridays. Within our lifetime, they have been changed their standard again. See, when disciples were saying, in their last 100 years, means from now, last 100 years. So first there was no meat eating, then no meat eating only on Fridays, and finally, it is relaxed. That principle itself is relaxed. So how the change can happen within few hundred years? I heard from some devotees earlier how this implementation came. The 10 commandments, what is the first commandment? Thou shall not kill. It has been changed to thou shall not murder. What is the difference? One word only, kill to murder. What does that change? Kill means you kill an animal. But you kill an ant, you kill a goat, you kill a cow, you kill a buffalo, something like that. But murder pertains to only human beings. So there was one queen in 13th, 14th century who was very much addicted to meat eating. But Shiva, because openly if she eats some meat, she will be criticized for not following the principles. She influenced the church so much so that she had changed the thou shall not kill to thou shall not murder. So that people will not criticize her for her principle. So this is how the degradation happened over a period of years. When politics entered religion, the religion was destroyed. The dharma was destroyed. Because people want to maintain their power by somehow or other. So next, one more devotee. They have changed so many things. When I was a boy, no one would have dreamed of defending homosexuality or abortion. Such things were utterly condemned. Now even some priests and nuns are openly promoting these things. The church has lost much of its austerity and spiritual strength. Because see, the devotees were giving their experience in their last 30 years. Means when Prabhupada met them, they are around 25, 30. In their 30 years experience itself, they are saying many things have been changed. No, Prabhupada. That is why they are selling churches. So many people are losing interest. For example, in London, there are so many churches closed for lack of interest. Disciple. Reportedly, on account of popes taking such a firm stand against abortion and contraception, as many as 1/4 of practicing Catholics have reduced their practice or may have left the church entirely. Just by one decision by Pope, 1/4 of Christians left the church, it seems, because he was encouraging abortion. Prabhupada, where they have gone? They have left, okay, now where are they? Disciple, well, they have given up going to church at least. Then their life became hopeless. Prabhupada, no. Why do you say hopeless? There is certainly hope. There is Krishna consciousness. Disciple, Prabhupada, this verse really captures today's situation. The Asuchi Vrataha, those who have made an unclean materialistic vow, receive much respect, and yet genuine devotees of the Lord receive little, or if any. Prabhupada, it is very fortunate that the materialists are not crucifying devotees. Lack of respect is one thing, but they crucified Jesus Christ, whom they were so respectful. Because he was preaching God consciousness, he was crucified. What was his fault? He was talking of God, therefore he was crucified with government approval. So Srimad Bhagavatam predicts, Dasyu Dharma Dibihi. As this age progresses, the government itself will consist of rogues and thieves. This is Kali Yuga progresses. It is said the elected people will be mostly of rogues and thieves. What they do? They try to loot the country. So Kali Yuga predictions of Kali Yuga in the 12th canto, it explains three chapters are dedicated for this purpose. What will be the symptoms of Kali Yuga? How people will be behaving. It is said that people will be so much exhausted of taxation. They run away from the family life to forests. And there are no forests, they hide in mountains and all these things to avoid taxation, to avoid being captured by government. So much taxation it will happen, it seems. Karapiditaha, it is that specific words were used in Bhagavatam. Disciple, Prabhupada, if we naturally desire to live, why do people perform so many horrible acts that will destroy both others and themselves? Prabhupada, they are thinking they can go on existing by putting others out of existence. In the material world, everyone has to struggle for existence. But they do not know how to exist. This is their foolishness. Everyone wants to go on existing because he is eternal. He doesn't want to be destroyed. That is his natural inclination. But he does not know how to go on existing eternally. We are giving the formula. If you want to exist eternally, come to Krishna consciousness. Disciple, Prabhupada, why does a demoniac person seem to want to exist by putting others out of existence? Prabhupada, that is simply the demoniac mentality. They are happy when others are unhappy. And when others are unhappy, and when others are happy, they become unhappy. Paradukka Sukhi. So this is their mentality. When others are unhappy, he becomes happy. When he becomes unhappy, others will become happy. Or when others are happy, he becomes unhappy. This is their mentality. So, Bhagavatam in many places explains about these demoniac tendencies. What do these demoniac people do? How do they torture? So, when Hiranyakashipu became the emperor of this world after Brahma's benediction, what did he do? It is said in a few verses. Anyata idam vidastyaham ayata purvam ojasa kimanyai kala nirdhutai kalpante vaishnavadibihi. So, by dint of his severe austerities and penances, ojasa, ayata purvam, I shall reverse the results of pious and impious activities. You do good activities, you will get papa. You do bad activities, you will get punya. He wants to reverse the change of the system of creation of God. Hiranyakashipu. Anyata idam vidasyeham. I shall overturn the established practices within this world. I want to change the design of this world. Even kalpante vaishnavadibihi kala nirdutaha. At the end of, generally it is said, the Dhruvaloka, which is the abode of Lord Vishnu, will not be destroyed. Even at the time of destruction of the entire universe. He is saying he wants to change. Even he wants to destroy that Dhruvaloka also. Therefore, what is the use of worshipping that Vaishnava perspective? I shall prefer to remain in the position of Brahma. I want to control this world. I want to be the Brahma. Kimanyai, what is the use? When all the worlds are destroyed, what is the use of going to Vaikuntha? Even Vaikuntha will be destroyed. This is his mentality. So here, the demigods were explaining to Brahma the situation about Hiranyakashipu's mentality. After executing severe austerities, people within this material world are promoted to heavenly planets. But Hiranyakashipu wanted them to be unhappy even in heaven. See, his mentality is people go to heaven to enjoy. But he wants to change the system. Even if you go to heaven, you have to suffer there. He wanted those who are harassed in this world by material transactions to be unhappy for the same reason even in the heavenly planets. You are suffering here, you go there, you should suffer also there. Indeed, he wanted to introduce such harassment everywhere within the 14 planetary systems. Every planet should become Naraka. This is his mentality. So one might ask how it is possible when the Lord had already created a style of maintaining the universe. How it is possible to change the plan of the Lord? Hiranyakashipu was proud that to declare that he would be able to do everything and anything because of his tapasya. He is saying, I have become so strong, I can do whatever I want. He even wanted to make the Vaishnava's position insecure. These are some of the symptoms of asuric determination. Then further, what did he do? Sa vijitya disha sarva lokam shatrin mahasuraha. This mahasura, this demoniac, great demon, sa vijitva, he conquered all directions, dishaha. Sarva lokam shatrin, he conquered all the 3 planetary systems. All directions, all planetary systems he conquered. Devashura Manushya, Indra, Gandharva, Garuda, Uragan. Which and all planets he covered? Deva, Asura, Manushya, Indra, Gandharva, Garuda, Uragan, snakes, birds, every planet, whatever is there within this 14 planetary system, he conquered everyone. Siddha, Charana, Vidyadharan, Rishi, Pitir, Patin, Manun. He conquered Siddha, Charana, Vidyadhara, Rishi planet. Pitir, Patin, Manun, Yaksha, Rakshasa, Pisachan, Preta, Bhuta, Patinapi. He became the master of all living entities. Except 3 people. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, he conquered everyone. Sarva Sattva Patin Jitva, Vasham Aniya Vishwajit. He became the conqueror of the universe. Vishwajit. Jahara Lokapalanam Sthanani Saha Tejasa. So, conquering abode of all, he sieged their power and influence. So all the demigods were bereft of their power and capacities. He personally was managing the entire universe. Tamanga mattam madunoru gandina vivrutta tamraksham asesha dishnyapa ushata payana panibir vina tribistapo yoga balojasam padam. He said, my dear king, Anga, this is the discussion between Narada Muni and Yudhishthira Maharaj, saying, Tam mattam madunor gandina. He was always drunk on strong smelling wines and liquors. What is his mentality? Continuously on drinking. Then, Vivikta Tamraksham. His coppery eyes were always rolling. Jai Shri Radha Govindaki. So when somebody is in intoxication, how his eyes will be? Eyes will be very red. And they will be always rolling, means he is always in an intoxicated, means he is in a delirious situation. So then, Tapo Yoga Balojasam Padam, because he had powerfully executed his great austerities in mystic yoga, Vina Tribihi, except the 3 principal demigods, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, Vina Tribihi, Ashesha Dishnyapa, Usato Payana Panibihi. All the all the in charges of the heavenly planets, they all used to personally come and they used to serve him with various gifts and capacities just to pacify him. So the effects of Hiranyakashipu's tapasya was mentioned here when he did tapasya. Light emanated from his hair as sun rays during dissolution. Wandering demigods returned to their homes. Fire emanated from his head and spread everywhere, heated up all the planets. All rivers and oceans were agitated. The surface of the globe with its mountains and islands began trembling. The stars and planets fell. All directions were ablaze. When he did tapasya, see how he was torturing the whole world. All the planetary systems were ablaze. Everybody were feeling that heat. Everybody were being roasted. Everybody were like in a tawa. With bottom fire, top fire, everywhere fire. Then how Hiranyakashipu controlled the nature. Earth delivered abundant food grains even without plowing. See, the fear of Hiranyakashipu, even you did not go to the field to plow, earth was giving crops continuously. And abundant crops. Cows supplied abundant milk. Outer space was decorated with wonderful phenomena. There was like a picturesque backdrop in the sky, so that Hiranyakashipu is pleased. If he becomes angry, we will be tortured. 7 oceans along with their rivers supplied various kinds of gems and jewels. Mountains and valleys became fields of pleasure for Hiranyakashipu. The trees and plants produced fruits and flowers profusely in all seasons. So he used to get mangoes round the year. He alone performed the function of all the demigods. One man show. Only Hiranyakashipu. No assistants required. He alone was performing the job of all the demigods. Yet in spite of controlling all directions and enjoying all kinds of sense gratification, he was still dissatisfied due to uncontrolled senses. Because he could not conquer his senses, even though he had conquered the whole world, he was never satisfied. This is the nature of greed. A person can never be satisfied in the process. So Hiranyakashipu was that mentality. So, and we were saying that 2 contemptuous sons, this Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, will take birth. What happens when they take birth? Shastras say, the mountains and earth shook. The fire was there everywhere. Thunderbolts and meteors fell from the sky. Many inauspicious planets showed up along with the comets. Harsh winds blew, dust as their flags, storm as their armies, and uprooted gigantic trees. Dense clouds covered everywhere. Oceans with all creatures wailed loudly. Rivers and lakes withered with lotuses. Eclipses of sun and moon with halos were seen. Thunder without clouds was heard. Sounds of chariots from mountain caves was heard. The she jackals vomited fire, cried. Owls were crying. Dogs cried. Asses ran in herds braying. Birds flew from their nests. Cows passed urine and stool continuously. Cows yielded blood instead of milk. The clouds rained pus. The image of the gods in the temple shed tears. The trees fell down without a blast of a wind. Inauspicious planets and retrograde motion surpassed the auspicious ones and came in conflict with one another. Means all possible natural disasters are seen in this material world whenever a demons take birth. So Prabhupada says in one of the purports there, whenever you see some natural disturbance happening, be assured some demon has taken birth somewhere in the world. So similarly, even in Mahabharata also, when Duryodhana took birth, so what was the situation? Exactly after 2 years had elapsed, when Duryodhana, see what happened, the time of Duryodhana's birth, Bhima took birth early. So Yudhishthira took birth early. So when Gandhari, she became pregnant early, but Yudhishthira became first child. So out of enviousness or out of jealousy, she could not tolerate that her sister, competitor, had given birth to Yudhishthira. So out of frustration, she bet her womb. So because of this, a lump of flesh just took birth out of Gandhari. Because she has been blessed by Vyasadeva that she will have 100 sons. Now the lump of flesh is there. What to do? So they prayed to Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva appeared there. And he said, I have already blessed you. So what he did, he divided that lump of flesh into 100 children. And at last moment, Gandhari requested, I wanted one daughter also. So 101 kids were made. Means 101 small pieces of lump of flesh were made. And they were all put into pots filled with ghee. So that the test tube embryo babies, the first test tube embryo babies. So they were all put. So after 2 years, the first baby who came out was Duryodhana. And every successive day, one child was coming out. So when Duryodhana took birth, what happened? At the time of birth of Duryodhana, he was brought out of the pot. The sound of braying of asses and screaming vultures was heard. Jackals howled and the wind blew fiercely. Without any apparent cause, fire sprang up all around the city and raged in all directions. Seeing the inauspicious omens, Dhritarashtra invited Bhishma, Drona, Vidura and all the leaders, all the important people to consult what should be done. He asked them the meaning of the omens. The eldest of the princes is undoubtedly Yudhishthira and he should inherit the kingdom. I do not dispute that. But will my son become the king after him? Oh, wise one, please tell me what is right and awful. What is right and lawful? So as Dhritarashtra spoke these words, there was terrible sounds from all sides. Vidura replied, when these omens are seen as the birth of a child, it is evident he will be the exterminator of the race. Means not only he will destroy the entire family. Our prosperity and future depends upon being, so therefore it is evident that he should be abandoned. If you want to be prosperous and your future wants to save, you abandon this one child. At least without with one son, you will have 99 sons. Be happy with 99. This child must be cast away at once. But Dhritarashtra was not ready in any way to discard this child. As soon as the child was brought near him, out of paternal affection, he took that child and everybody became silent. Because he is the monarch, the decision of the monarch is final. So Bhishma and Vidura saw each other's faces and left for the fate. What has to happen? The person who is come to here taken birth is one who will destroy the entire family and the entire dynasty. So this is the situation. So how they torture the world, how they destroy the world. When there is Varna Shankara population, it is a torture to the world. In that 4 verses, Krishna talks about when women are tortured, women are exploited by people who are not studying their character. The result is the children will be born who are unqualified. When these unqualified children grow up, they do not follow any rules and regulations. They destroy the serenity of the society, peacefulness of the society. All the forefathers will not be given any Shraddha ceremonies. In that way, the entire system becomes collapsed. The Varnashrama system, what was put into order, will be collapsed and everything becomes ruined. So that is the perspective here, what we understand from the birth of these demons. So similarly, sometimes this was one pastime related by one of the Goswamis who had experience with Prabhupada as a small boy. So there were 3 friends who used to be staying near Shringarvat. They are the sons of the Goswamis. So these boys, every day, they became fascinated by modern day world. So they wanted to experience this modern day cinema and the thing, the glares of this modern day world. So because their families never gave money, so they resorted to somehow or other pick up money from here and there. So these people used to make a gang, 3 people. So they used to jump from the backside in the afternoon in the Radha Damodar temple. There was actually no compound wall at that time. some small things were placed as a small compound. So they used to jump from the background and come near in the temple near Rupa Goswami's Bhajan Kutir. So one person will be standing behind to see nobody is coming. One person will be standing near Prabhupada's window so that Prabhupada is not seeing, because Prabhupada was there in the Radha Damodar temple. And the other person used to carry a stick, and with that stick he used to carry the coins. He used to pull the coins towards the door. So once the money is done, they used to run away from there, and they used to go out to purchase some chocolates or to go some movie, or they used to spend in that in a sense gratification perspective. One particular time, Prabhupada saw these three boys as a plan they are making, how they are stealing. So from his window he started calling, Goshai, Goshai, chor asche, chor asche. Means he was trying to call, the thieves have come, thieves of some Goshani. I mean, he was calling that the Goswamis of that Radha Damodar temple. Then he went there and he started saying to them, you are all sons of Goswami families, you are all in the Nityananda Vamsha, why are you doing all these cheap things and all? You are not supposed to do, you are supposed to do, engage in Krishna Katha. See, the children who are interested in playing and enjoying, how they will listen Krishna Katha? They will not have any attraction for Krishna Katha. So they did not hear to Prabhupada's words, they went away. So they neglected. So again they came back after some time in the evening. So they went to Prabhupada thinking that Prabhupada will complain to their father and their family members about the situation. So if they got to know about their family members, and they will be beaten and they will be taken for a task. So they came to pacify Prabhupada. So Prabhupada was there at that time. He was not angry. He called them. He made them sit in the room. And he started saying, see, you are all from a good family, good cultured family. You are all supposed to become good devotees. You are supposed to serve the Lord. So you have a good lineage. You should not resort to all these cheap activities, because these things will destroy one's character. So Prabhupada was trying to preach and trying to inform them that he is not going to complain to his parents, but they have to reform their personalities. At the end, after preaching, Prabhupada gave them also some sweets, because he used to keep a box of sweets. Anybody used to come, he used to cultivate them by giving that sweets. But these boys, they were, Swamiji is not going to complain to our parents, so they became little confident. After some time, after some days, again they came back to steal. But this time, when they came back, the other Goswamis were there, they caught some money, but they were trying to run away. So they were jumped out of a wall where there was one more family who were maintaining dogs. So when he jumped outside, this person, he landed near a dog, and that dog immediately caught him on his calves, and it bit him. And he became so frightened, he went to hospital. 14 injections around his navel were put. And he came back to Prabhupada and he said, sorry Prabhupada, I did not listen to you, Swamiji, because you have instructed us not to do, but we did not listen to you. Today, karma came back. We tried to steal the money of the Lord. Lord gave a punishment with 14 injections around my navel. So at that time, he said, that is how we changed our mentality. We understood the words of superiors are very important. When they are giving instruction for us, it is for our benefit. So when we decry the authority, we will be punished by the Lord. So here also perspective, decrying the authority will be punished by the Lord. So these people also will be punished, but how it will be punished, we will see in the further verses what will happen, how Kashyapa is going to explain the situation. So I will stop here. Any questions or doubts? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की निताय गौर प्रेमनी.
గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణ వాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణవాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి 9133107700. హరే కృష్ణ